This MVP race makes no sense. All right, let's see.
I've got a question. Is a player averaging a near 30-point triple-double worthy of an MVP? What about a
Of
player having
course.
one of the greatest defensive seasons of all time? Or how about a player averaging 34 points who put up 40 a game for an entire month? Is he worthy of the award? Or what about a player who is having the most efficient 30-piece in the history of the NBA on his way to 65 wins? Now, the answer
Jesus.
is pretty simple. All of these seasons are worthy of an MVP. But what if all of these seasons are happening at the same time?
I ain't gonna lie to you. If I'm being completely honest, bro. Uh, I guess I ain't gonna lie. You can say you can say Victor Wembanyama definitely deserves MVP. You can say Shea deserve it, Luca or Jokic. I think Jokic might have missed too many games though for him to make it for the MVP thing. I remember him saying like, "Oh, if he missed one more game, then he out." I don't know if he missed that game yet, but I don't think he could win it. But it all depends. How long the stream been going? 20 minutes. Um, in my opinion, I ain't gonna lie. Luca been having some nice seasons, bro, and they've been snubbing him for the MVP and giving it to other people for years. I'd probably say give it to Luca or Wimby, because Jokic, we seen Russ average a triple. I don't know, did he average a 30-point triple double, or was he? Well, Russ averaged a triple double for 4 straight seasons and only won the MVP one time, or 3 straight seasons, however many times he did it. So I'm not really too impressed by that because I seen Russell Westbrook do that as a point guard, and it's much more impressive a point guard averaging a triple double versus a center averaging a triple double, even though a center isn't supposed to be able to get that many assists. I digress though. I say give it to Luca or what's it called it, or Victor. Crazy part is how he not mentioning Jalen Brown or like Cade Cunningham. So I was about to say they up there for the MVP. What's it called it? Well, Cade injured, but Jalen Brown definitely up there.
4 players, 4 legitimate cases being made, and only one award. Who should be the NBA's most valuable player this season? Well, that depends on who you ask and what they value.
Then again, the MVP race every year changes, bro. It goes from all right, we gonna vote for the dude that's scoring the most points and his team is winning the most games, and he's the best player on his team and his team is trash without him. Then it goes from we gonna vote for the person whose team isn't winning the most games, but they might be third or fourth, and then but they team can survive without them a little bit, and they play well, but he just adds more when he plays with them. So it kind of like I don't know, bro. And then it's like, oh, we're gonna go for this guy who's scoring a lot of points, but also playing both ends of the floor. It's like you how am I gonna put this, bro? MVP should kind of be one set thing. Like, yo, your team, if you gonna do the best player on the best team with the best record, scoring a whole lot of points, and his team is trash without him, if you gonna measure it by that metric, you have to leave it at that metric. You can't change it every year based off who you like and who you don't like. It can't be MVP can't be a feelings award. It has to be like, yo, this is who we voting for and this is who we going with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real, to be honest, you has been a man for real. Stop fucking alive. What's that word, Branson? I mean, Brandon. I'm not calling you Branson. That's a dumb name. No offense. Yo, bro, gotta go. I'm gonna catch up and I'm gonna catch up in a lie with my ex thinks I'm dead. What? Shout out to you, Fendi, bro. I don't even know. I don't know what you got going on. You got a lot going on right now, gang. But shout out to you.
Today's video is sponsored by Chime, a
Jesus
Chime's
Christ, everybody's getting sponsored by Time.
general
Time
with
sponsored me.
direct and the Q can earn on it.
The numbers. Okay.
Winning the MVP usually means putting up numbers that jump off the stat sheet. It's not
Right.
the only thing that matters, but big eye-popping box scores have almost become a prerequisite for the MVP award. And right now there's two players who don't just stand out this season, they stand out amongst every season. If we just look at raw box score numbers,
Hold on, man. Let's look at raw box score numbers. Jesus Christ, boy. Dang, Luka averaging 1.6. He averaging almost 2 steals, and they be saying he don't play no D. Luka's averaging 34 points. 34 points. He's averaging the most turnovers out of all of them. He's shooting 60% from the field, though. Playing 36 minutes. Jokic is averaging 28, 13, and 11. Those are nuclear numbers. He's shooting 60%, and he's playing 35 minutes. Wemby, 24, 11, 3. Well, 24, 11, and 3. Well, 3 assists, and he's averaging 3 blocks, shooting 60%. Dang, he's doing all that in 30 minutes? Jesus Christ. Boy, if Wemby played 35 minutes, he might be averaging 50. Like, come on, bro. That's nuclear. Yo, shout out to everybody that's in here, man. If you in here, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on notifications so you notify when I'm dropping vids. We also are streaming on Twitch. The Twitch link is pinned in the chat. Join the Discord. But subscribe. You see it? You know what I'm saying? You dig me? And Shea is averaging 30 points per usual. 60% shooting on 34 minutes. Well, 33 minutes, actually. These are nuclear numbers, bro. If I did look at these numbers, I am a Lakers fan, so I am a little biased. I would be going with Luka. I'll go with Luka on this one. Jokic got crazy numbers, bro. But I'll go with Luka. Luka or Victor. Only because these two have won it before, too. That's why I'm not going to vote for them. But I'll go Luka or Victor.
Jokic and Luka are gapping the entire league this season. Their
That's a
numbers
fact.
have gotten so absurd that they make Shea's 31, 4, and 7 look kind of normal. Add up their per game points, rebounds, and assists, and Jokic and Luka are having two of the top 5 most productive seasons in modern NBA history. Jokic joining the 50 Club, an exclusive group that was previously only occupied.
Oh my God, boy. So if we saying PRA by season, if we ranked best seasons ever by points, rebounds, and assists, Russell Westbrook is still at the top. Even though Jokic is having a very good season, averaging a triple-double, he did it last season. Russell Westbrook is still at the top. He averaged 53 on the PRA joint. That's tough. Can't lie to you, bro.
By 2017 MVP Russell Westbrook, 2025 Jokic, and 2024 Luka. But if sheer numbers alone guaranteed a player an MVP, then Jokic would have won the award in 2025, and Luka would have won it in 2024. So would James Harden in 2019, Luka again in 2023, and LeBron in 2018. As box score numbers continue to climb across the NBA, so does the frequency of these historically significant seasons. In fact, 17 of the last 20 most productive seasons in modern NBA history.
Luka averaged 47 PRA in 2020. Boy, that was like his second season, bro. That's crazy.
Have all came in just the last 8 years. Seasons like this, that were once not only warrant of an MVP, but were historic milestones, are now becoming an annual occasion for players like Jokic, Luka, and Giannis. And the more often we see these shockingly large numbers, the more the shock wears off. It wasn't long ago when
Alright, bro, I gotta go sleep. Keep it up. Appreciate you, Brandon.
Averaging a triple-double all but guaranteed Russell Westbrook an MVP as a 6 seed. But in today's NBA, averaging a near 30-point triple-double might not even land you in the top 3 spots for the MVP. Unlike other superstars around the league who fill the stat sheet with historic volume, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has maintained his spot as the MVP favorite with a season of record-breaking efficiency and consistency, all while spearheading the best team in the league. According to ESPN's net point stat, Shai has only had 5 bad games all season. In fact, there has only been one season in the history of the league.
See, look, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. We have to stop doing this. Like ESPN, I feel like they just you can't just keep making stuff up, bro. What are net point stats? Like, are we saying like are we including like his PRA and his plus minus? Is that what gets included for like net point stats? Like, come on, bro, this we can't keep making up all these terminologies for scoring points and getting buckets and just being overly efficient or whatever the case may. We can't keep doing all that, man. This is dumb. I'm sorry.
Where a guard was more efficient than Shea at scoring the ball while averaging at least 30 a game. And it was by the greatest shooter of all time having the greatest season of his career. But to say Shea has simply been efficient this season would be an understatement. So far this season, Shea is scoring 1.6 points every time he shoots the ball. That is the most points per shot by any
Wow.
volume scoring guard in the history of the NBA. 2026 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander isn't having one of the most efficient seasons by a guard. He is having the most efficient season of all time. Now, when stacked up
That's
against
crazy.
these three, Victor Wembanyama's numbers pale in comparison. A lot of his value coming on the
Appreciate everybody
defensive
playing
side of the
stream.
ball. And I don't think you'll find any never minds on the stat sheet. But Victor has been
Good
on a
work,
minutes
Connor.
restriction all year. If we standardize these numbers on a per 75 basis, then you can really see just how much Wemby is impacting the game.
Jesus Christ, bro. What is a per 75? Per 75 minutes or per 75 games? I don't know what that means, but I did say that too. He averaging 30. He's only playing 30 minutes. If you bump this up to like 35 or 36 minutes a game, because he's been on minutes restriction, Wemby would probably be averaging 35 points, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Gotta go to work tomorrow. Good luck to you, brother, man.
Every time he's on the court, with box score numbers that match
Decided
these
to
other
work. Where you work
candidates,
at?
even as a player who doesn't favor offense. However, earning the title as the most valuable player in basketball requires value that goes far beyond the box score. But even looking past the raw numbers doesn't make this decision any easier.
Impact. Okay.
Who is the most valuable player this season? That depends on what you value. In terms of estimated plus minus,
So are we okay? This might be either going off plus minus or how good their team plays without them.
it is Shea, who not only has a lead on the rest of the league, he has the third highest single season EPM of any player this century, only trailing 2019 MVP James Harden and 2016 MVP Steph Curry. If we look at crafted plus minus, it's Nikola Jokic who reigns as the best player in the league this season, followed by Wemby and Shea. And if we look at daily plus minus, it is Jokic once again who tops the league with a sizable lead on everyone else. If these all-in-one advanced metrics told us everything, Nikola Jokic would be walking away this season with his fourth MVP. Fortunately for the rest of the field, the value a player provides for his team cannot be boiled down to one simple number. According to preseason odds, here are the projected number of wins each team was expected to finish with this season.
45, 47, 63, 54. The Lakers are way over 47, right? Or is they like at 47, kinda? Maybe I'm tripping. I'm a volunteer at the museum. Okay, that's tough. That's tough. How old are you, Connor? Was you like 16, 15 or something? I thought you were saying you going to like actual work or something like that. But shout out to you though, volunteering at the museum gang. You ever heard from Cool Lady? Nigga, I don't even know who that is. That is my job. No, I'm saying you said you're going to volunteer at the museum. Are you like, well, excuse my ignorance, but when I hear the word volunteer, volunteer means yo, like free. Like, I'm finna go volunteer here, but you're not getting paid type activity. Or is you saying you going to work up there like you finna like pick up a shift or something like that? That's why, because I heard the word volunteer, so I'm taking free. I'm 21, about to turn 22. Oh, okay, bet. So yeah, you got to be getting paid. I thought you was like 15 and 16. You said you was going to volunteer at the museum. Okay, bet. That's tough. What, you working like security or
Now,
something?
these projections can be off for a number of reasons. Teams dealing with injuries, unexpected leaps from young players, and of course the individual impact of an MVP level player. Coming into the season, the Denver Nuggets were projected to win 54 games. Right now, they are on pace for about 52. The Thunder
Wow.
were projected to finish with about 63 wins, a total they're on pace to surpass by 2 wins. The
Yeah,
Lakers were
65.
projected to win 47 games, and they're currently on pace for 53. But it is the
Right.
Spurs who have completely blown away expectations this season.
How many games they
Preseason
win?
odds had them
50?
winning 45 games this year. They are
60?
currently on pace for 62 wins,
Oh,
exceeding projections by
that's nuclear.
17 wins. If you're looking for who provides the most value, it might be the guy who's transformed the Spurs from playoff hopefuls into title contenders. But
Of
looking at
course.
the MVP from this angle assigns individual value to team success. And as we all know, despite the MVP being an individual award, more often than not, the perception of a player's value is heavily influenced by the success of their team. After all,
Yep.
if you are truly the most valuable player in basketball, you should be elevating your team to title contention. But rather than looking at team success, let's look at the individual impact these players have on their team. Dunks and Threes has a metric called estimated wins that takes the quality of play from any
What?
given player plus the minutes they've played throughout the season to get the estimated number of wins.
I already volunteered. I'm working there permanently now. Oh, okay, bet. That's dope. What's your position though? Like, what you like work at the like concession stand and all that? Oh no, I'm a tour guide for a museum. We're training to be one. Okay, bet. That's tough. That's tough. I ain't been in the museum in a minute, bro. Long time. Shout out to the shout out to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. I think that's the name of it. Or the History Museum. I forget the name, but shout out to that museum, man.
They've contributed to their team's
That's
total.
tough.
Our 4 MVP candidates
You
being
rock
the
with it.
top 4
You like
players
it.
in the league this season
I'm
in
assuming.
estimated wins with 13.8, 14.6, 16, and 18. Nikola Jokic is solely responsible for a third of the Nuggets' wins. But
Yeah, because the Nuggets are pretty shite without him. Not even gonna lie to you, bro. But then Shea is responsible for about 18 of theirs. So yeah, this is kind of. Then again, I don't like all these weak metrics, bro. Like, even though this is probably what a lot of people go by. Well, I don't know about. Well, I highly doubt MVP voters are going by this, but some people look at this stuff and be like, "Yo, this is who should really be winning the MVP."
it is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander who has contributed the most wins to his team this season. But arguably the most accurate way
Fact.
to assess a player's value is to measure how well their team performs when they're
Not at the museum looking at that. That's dope. Yeah, that's a fact. You ain't lying. I ain't gonna lie to you. You wanna know what's crazy? I want to say I rewatched Night of the Museum like 4 months ago, bro. That movie do not hold up for me, bro. Like, as a kid, I thought that movie was so dope. It's still dope, don't get me wrong, but it don't hold up. It don't give me the same feeling as when I watched it when I was like 8. Maybe I'm thinking about it a little too much, but I seen it like 4 months ago and I was like, wow, bro, this movie's terrible. Not terrible, but yeah. Hey, my little is getting deployed this Friday. I'm on reservation. My little. Who the hell is my little? And you getting deployed, bro? Um, I'm hoping you survive or you get stationed somewhere safe, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know it's a gang of people getting deployed, and Trump did just make that speech on them finna fly over there and all that, bro. Which personally, well, just not to get you down in the dumps, I feel like it's gonna be a very big disaster. But yeah. Oh, your little brother. Shout out to him, bro. I'm praying for everybody that do get deployed and all that. Who knows? We might have a draft. Luckily for me, I'm not in that age bracket of where they can draft people. Draft is, I think, 18 to 25. Me being 26. not drafting your boy. Shout out to everybody else though, man. Well, are you from Maryland? No, I'm not from Maryland. I'm from Chicago, bro. Yes, sir, I do. I work with veterans.
On the court versus when they're off the court.
Shout out
How
to him,
much
though,
does
bro.
a
I hope you
player's
safe.
presence directly impact their team? Here are the top 30 players in the league this season and their team's net rating when they're off the court. From the Celtics, who are firing on all cylinders
Jesus.
even without Jaylen Brown on the court this season, to the Jazz, who are on the verge of relegation without Lauri Markkanen on the court. And now here is the effect these stars have on their team when they're on the court. With the four most impactful players in the league this season being Kawhi, Jokic, Giannis, and Wemby, with the highest net on-off in the entire league.
So bronze in the middle, it kind of drops, right? Bronze drops. Wait, when he's on the court or off the court? Huh? Am I tripping? Without their star, Luca Reeves, Bron. I think this is with them. Okay, that's kind
of
crazy.
plus 17. This means the Spurs are 17 points better per 100 possessions with Wemby on the court. But this stat also reveals another key factor in the MVP race. We often judge a player's impact on how well their team is playing. This has been a point of contention with the MVP award for years.
Yo, and if you're in here, make sure you like the stream up, man. I join a lot of videos finding people at the museum are super friendly. They are all veterans that serve non-military. Oh, okay. That's tough. Are you in Maryland at the museum? Sir Trigger Oscar. I'm over 30. Yeah, it's a fact. That's I guess you could say it's kind of a blessing to be a lot older so you won't have to get drafted. Either way, if they came and tried to draft me, I'm telling them no sir, Bob, I'm not going over there. I'm sorry. I'm good. I ain't finna go fight the IRGC for no reason.
MVPs go to players on good teams with top seeds, and rightfully so. But what if a player has MVP level value, but they're on a bad team? With Bam Adebayo on the court, the Heat have a plus 7.8 net rating, one of the highest in the entire NBA. On-court impact that is the difference between the Heat being one of the worst teams in the league and merely the 10th seed. Same goes for Giannis and Kawhi. MVP caliber seasons stifled by injuries and teams that are absolutely lost without them. Purely looking at a team's results, like wins or seeding, ignores how great some of these players have to play just to keep their team competitive. With that being said, the MVP award has always valued turning good teams into great teams over turning bad teams into average teams. And with that being the case, here are our 4 MVP frontrunners and the impact they are having on their teams. If you're looking for a player who impacts the game more than anyone else while pushing their team into great territory, then that player is clearly Victor Wembanyama, who is head and shoulders above the rest of the league in terms of the impact his presence has on his team. Now, it's important to note that the on-off metric doesn't measure how well an individual player is playing, but rather how well a team is playing while that individual is on the court. So what if we look at this the other way around? What if we directly measure a player's individual impact and how that affects their team's success? This is ESPN Analytics net point stat, and it divides credit and blame to each player on the court for every play of the game to measure the impact of each individual player. The higher the total net points, the more that player has contributed to their team's wins throughout the course of a season. In fact, the metric is so indicative of a player's value that ESPN literally calls it their MVP stat. For example, last year's 2 MVP finalists, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic, finished the 2025 season within 9 net points of each other. The next closest player was Tyrese Halliburton, with about half as many. If you want to know why last year's MVP race was so historic and so close, well, you're looking at it. But this year, the results of an entire season of basketball have turned out much different. There's no race in this MVP stat.
Yeah, I'm about to say because Shai, if I'm not mistaken, Shai them played well without him. I think Jokic them, the Nuggets played well without Jokic. Luka was out for a couple games. Bron them did pretty good, but then again he got Bron, so I don't know.
That there's no back and
Let's
forth
see.
at the top of the leaderboard. There's no battle for the number one spot. It's just one guy, way ahead of everyone else. Who is truly the most valuable player in the NBA? Well, that all depends on who you're asking and what they value.
Of course. What's the next step, man? Making the case.
With just a couple weeks left in the season, the MVP race has become so close that there is no clear consensus on who the actual most valuable player in the league is. One source will say it's Luka, another will say it's Wemby, and another will tell you it's Shai. According to Basketball Reference's MVP tracker, it is Nikola Jokic who has a firm grasp on the top spot with a 60% chance of winning the MVP. Ask the fans who they think should be the MVP, and you'll get a completely different answer. A couple weeks ago, NBA Central on Twitter asked fans who is the NBA's most valuable player, the options being Shai, Luka, Wemby, or Jaylen Brown. Within days, nearly 76,000 fans casted their votes, and running away with over 62% of all the votes as the clear winner was Luka Doncic. The result of a late season surge by Luka, averaging nearly 40 points a game for an entire month.
That's crazy.
And efforts that slingshotted him up to second place on the MVP ladder. Unfortunately, it's not the fans who get to vote for this award, it's the media. And for them, there has been one clear-cut leader throughout the entire season. Recently, the NBA did its annual MVP straw poll, a survey asking a panel of 100 media members who they think this season's MVP is. The results? Finishing in 5th was Luka Doncic, who received 0 first-place votes. In 4th was Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, okay. You know that's overly hating. I know they gon' I got a strong feeling they gonna pick Jokic. Either Jokic or Shai, bro. But that's overly trash, gang. It's bro, the fact that Cade Cunningham not on here is egregious. Anthony Edwards, 1/3 place vote. Tyrese Maxey. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Let's get this out the way now. Everybody down here, all of these people, the people voting for Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi, Jalen Brunson, Maxey, and Anthony Edwards, don't deserve votes, bro. Anthony Edwards got 4 votes, Maxey 4 votes, Brunson 7, Kawhi 6, and Donovan Mitchell with 11 votes, bro. He got 1 second place vote, 1 third place vote, 3 fourth place votes, and 6 fifth place votes. Come on, bro. What are we doing, gang? This is weak. And then Luka got 17 third place votes, bro. Huh? Yeah, bro. The media just be overly glazing, gang, because they didn't do all this with and if they pick Jokic, bro, they didn't do all this with what's his name? Dang, what's his name, bro? Russell Westbrook. Then again, I guess like come on, bro. What are we doing?
Wembanyama. In 3rd was Cade Cunningham. In 2nd was Nikola Jokic.
See, I knew it. Wait, what? 3rd? Wow, bro. Cade got 1 first place vote. Bro, your team being in first place in the East gets you no votes. That's crazy, bro. One first place vote, 9 second place votes, and 38 third place votes, bro. Yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. We gotta get rid of the vote. The voting system has to change, bro. Whoever voted for these people don't need votes anymore. And Cade getting this many votes, like this little amount of votes, and his team's in first is crazy. Like, come on, bro. What are we doing, gang?
And with a resounding 78 of the 100 first place votes was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, this poll was
78 first place votes, gang. What? I get Shai's efficiency and him averaging the 30 ball, but come on, bro. That's too many votes, gang. Nah. That's too nuclear, bro. What? Yeah, this pole jocking and meat sucking, bro. Shay gonna win it. Shay gonna win it, bro. I already know it. He gonna win. Especially if they did this and it was the analyst. He gonna win it. Might not see it at this point. See what, nigga? You been on what the deleted comment, nigga, or yours? You been on shots that collecting lists. Damn, bro. Oh, yeah, Obi though he owed me them motherfucking subs, nigga. Obi, I'm looking for my subs, nigga. I'm waiting. You dig me? You know I need my subs, boy.
Conducted back on February 20th, two
I
full
ain't gotta
months
tell
before
that
the end
nigga.
of
He
the
know he owed
season,
me them
and a
subs,
lot
nigga.
can and has changed over that time. But in 2025, the same media straw poll was conducted around the same time, and they accurately picked the MVP last season. They also accurately picked the MVP in 2024, and in 2023, and in 2022, and in every single
Jesus
season
Christ,
since the
bro.
introduction of this mid-season MVP poll.
Yeah, bro. See, but this is pole sucking though. This is meat riding. Like, let's be honest. Let's call it for what it is. They doing the voting before and being like, oh, this is who we pick for MVP, and then the person wins it. So it's like, come on, bro. What are we doing? Like,
In
let's be serious.
2016. Over the course of the entire
What game
season,
I'm doing
9
against you,
different
bro?
players have slid in and out of the MVP leaderboard, from Luka and Cade to Brunson and Jaylen Brown. But the first half of the season
How did Brunson slide into the MVP vote? What? How did Cade? How did you take Cade out and it seems in first?
was all
No,
Nikola
bro.
Jokic, dominating the #1 spot for 10 consecutive weeks. It wasn't until an injury sidelined him for a month when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander snagged the top spot and held on to it in what some people described as a runaway victory.
How did? First of all, let's get this out the way. How did Jokic slide out of the first spot with the injury and all that, and then Cade didn't go up and his team's been in first? This don't even make sense, bro.
At least it was, up until last week, when for the first time in his young career, Victor Wembanyama grabbed the top spot
That's
as
trash,
the MVP
bro.
frontrunner. The biggest catalyst in Victor's climb to the #1 spot, not necessarily being his play on the court, which has been strong and consistent throughout the entire season, it's what he said off the court.
3 arguments. My first one would be that defense is 50% of the game and that it is undervalued so far in the MVP race.
That's a
I
fact.
believe I'm the most impactful player defensively in the league. Second argument would be
That's a fact.
we almost swept OKC in the season and we dominated them. My third argument would be
I ain't gonna lie to you. So far, he's cooking. He's cooking so far.
that offense impact is not just sports.
Immediately after this interview, Wemby's odds to win MVP shot up from plus 1900 to plus 225, pushing Luka into the 3rd spot and turning this late season battle, at least on paper, into a 2-man race. If the MVP strictly went to the best player on the best team, then for the same reason he won it last season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would be crowned as the league's most valuable player. If the award went to the player who has the largest impact on his team, then Victor Wembanyama would become the youngest MVP in the history of the league. If the award was for the most dominant player in the league, Nikola Jokic would be a 4-time MVP by the end of the season. And if the fans had a say in it, Luka Doncic would be walking away as the league's most valuable player. With 2 weeks left in the season, the MVP race has grown closer than it's ever been. And with 4 players who all have a legitimate case for the award, only one can earn the title as the NBA's most valuable player.
Yeah, they might give it to Victor though, because Shai won last year. This is kind of crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. W video, Jimmy High Roller, you continue to put out great videos and great content on the daily. You dig me?